right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the nearly holiday special on Star Night Research. Today, I have with me is famous cosplayer Michael Byrnes here.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And here we're going to talk about the recent series finale on Superman and Lois.
Great show. Love that show.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be such a big fan of it at first because I felt like, what more can you do with Superman after
Well,
all this time, you know?
it's true. Like I want to say when it first came out, I was a little apprehensive because they had twin boys. That kind of threw me. That's never really been part of the lore of Superman. He has a son, John, but then they introduced Jordan. At first I was a little like, what are you gonna do? But when the fourth season rolled around, I was like, oh, I get it. So they gave both of the boys powers and powered them up. And of course, the ending, the last episode that they showed us was really touching, and they kind of explained where they were going with that. So I kind of enjoyed that. It's different, it's different. I mean, like I said, we're just used to Clark and Lois doing their thing, but of course, you have family now. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree because I wasn't sure if with this show they're going to do something like in space or like a different because initially this was part of the Arrowverse, so to speak.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, but I don't think it was the same Superman that they introduced with Melissa Benoist. I think I'm saying her name right. Supergirl's world, because they never mentioned her in this show. Nothing never came up. I don't. I think it was a whole nother multiversal how they do that, another universe, which is fine. They do that all the time now.
Yeah, because I mean, we did had John Diggle appear for a couple of seasons, but
Hmm.
then they just decided just to drop it pretty much and just do their own thing.
Yeah, yeah,
But still, like, yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that with Doomsday everything, I have a feeling that they're going to do some kind of setup like that from ever since we got to see that Steel being introduced, and then even with the boys, I felt like it's the pieces are there, even with Superman's brother kind of being like the eradicator, so to speak.
yeah. That kind of took me back by off. I was like, Superman never had a brother. However, in the comics, they kind of said that Mon-El was his brother, but he was redheaded when he first came out in the comics. And then they changed that in the stories to where he was, I think they called him a Daxamite or something to that effect. But yeah, so when they introduced this guy as his brother, I'm like, well, that's a different take. They kind of took,
Yeah,
they kind of took liberties with the whole show, but it is what it is.
I mean it's definitely unique. I mean, I guess you either get discount Luthor or discount Loki.
Yeah, this Luthor was pretty intense. This guy was something else. He was ruthless.
Oh,
I enjoyed that. I mean, I like the fact that you have a guy who is so well and determined to go after a godlike creature that he'll sacrifice everything that he owns to go after it. And he was that dude. That actor played it off. Isn't he the guy from The Walking Dead though?
yep, Michael
Crazy.
Cudlitz.
Yeah, awesome job, great job. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was sold just from the 2 episodes he appeared on at the end of season 3.
Mhm. And they showed Otis being in prison with him was his kind of like his, I guess, his cell bully, and then he wasn't his bully or something like that. And I was like, okay.
I mean, I think once Luthor got to cut loose in prison, then I think things turned around. Either
Yeah,
that or promise of money once he's out.
yeah, the money probably brought him. Obviously, he got him out.
Yep.
Oh,
And no offense to John Cryer, but I feel like to me, like Michael Cudlitz is definitely a better Luthor.
yeah. Well, John Cryer was perfect for the Arrowverse, because to me, this show with Superman Lois had a little bit more grit than the Arrowverse. This is the
Yeah.
way they made it. And of course, in Superman 4, John Cryer was Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor in the movies. So that's one of the callbacks that they do. So when they showed him, I went, "That's kind of appropriate." But when they introduced the new Luthor, I was impressed. I was like, "This guy." He kind of like Kevin Spacey in the Brandon Routh Superman. He was when he hollered at Lois, "Wrong." I was like, "Oh."
Oh
Because
yeah.
be cool, calm, and collected. Because Gene Hackman did most of that in the Superman movie, of course, unless he got pissed off, then he'd go off. Like he beat the crap out of Otis in the ambulance, and he hollered at Miss Teschmacher, and then he'd scream and holler here and there. But he didn't have, like I said, Gene Hackman's a great, wonderful actor. But these guys, you felt it. You felt that wrath. I was like, wow, this dude's really something else. But don't get me wrong, Gene Hackman's one of my favorites. So, but these two, like I said, the guy on this show, and of course, the Brandon Routh one, Kevin Spacey, they own that role. They own,
Yeah, they're definitely very intimidating, and it makes sense in this case with Luthor being locked up for almost 2 decades.
yeah, he was pissed. I feel it. I feel his pain. Not that I've ever been to jail or not, but I was like, man, you get cooped up, you get mad.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I didn't think they would just go sped up the recovery for Superman to be back in action. I figured this would be like maybe for the second to last episode that, oh, Superman's back to life or something. I figured that'd be a great twist, but nope, third episode.
Yeah, because when they killed him in I think it was '92 when the death of Superman was being played out in the comics, they kept him dead for like almost a year, and he thought, oh, they're really going to kill him. Of course, you saw the reign of the Superman, where I had the four different guys, the Eradicator, the Cyborg, the Boy,
Yep.
and the other one. And it's like you're thinking, John, and you're thinking, well, this is going to be it. One of these guys has got to be Clark, and then come find out, no, he's up at the fortress getting healed up. And you thought they were going to do that with the TV show, but they sort of fast forwarded it, and I get why they did it, because apparently the writing was on the wall that they're getting ready to be canceled. So a lot of things at the end were rushed. So when they had like the whole ending fight scene with the Bizarro Doomsday, it felt rushed, but it was satisfying enough to where we didn't bitch too much. We went because we knew coming along with like I said, the budget. They were supposed to show John Steele in his steel suit with the big S on his chest. I mean, I saw pictures online where they finally showed him with the cape and the S, and it looked really, really good. And I kind of regret that they didn't get to that point. I think they could have had at least 5 or 6 different seasons, but they stopped at 4.
Yeah, all because now I guess every DC show and movie, unless it's an Elseworlds thing, is going to be more or less connected.
Right, right. Even that new cartoon, the Creature Commando, supposedly coincides with the whole universe.
Yep.
Peacemaker and all that stuff. So we'll see. I hope they do a great job with it, because was basically Marvel's formula. Marvel would have everything connected. You watch Shield or Agent Carter on TV, and they connected with the movies. Where these, you had all these different TV shows and movies and nothing connected. So you're kind of like, well, what's going on here? So
Yeah, I mean that's why I laugh when James Gunn said that we're trying to follow more Star Wars, but I mean, technically Star Wars is doing the same thing MCU is doing, just basically going in different time periods.
yeah,
But I mean, if that's what we're going to do more so, just seeing different eras of DC before leading to some big event, then that'd be cool.
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, like I said, when you first met um, John, Steele, when you first met him, you thought he was going to be a bad guy. And they changed it to where, no, this is who this is. Obviously, he didn't have the S because he's from a different planet where Superman was not a good guy. So
Mm-hmm.
they,
And I definitely like the twist where it kind of goes back to season 1, where now Superman has to fight against Luthor in that suit.
Mm-hmm. He brought the suit with him. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't paint it green and purple.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, they didn't change that either. Though, at least as far as the, I think in the headset through all the graphics and stuff, they made that green and purple.
Yeah, that was green and purple. Yeah, that was. Of course, they made it look like Iron Man's suit. He was in the helmet.
Pretty, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I love that reveal with Steel. It was quite a bit of twist because, I mean, I never knew much from the comics. The first time I think I ever knew of the character was from the animated series where he had a look that didn't have the S symbol at all, but still
Mm-hmm.
he had the code name Steel.
No, he had it in the comics. I want to say when he first came out, he had the S
Ah,
because, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a minute since I read the book, but um, memory serves, he had the S. It was bolted on. He looked like or acted like Clark, so everyone thought, oh, he's Clark. But he's just a real nice guy, like Clark. But he made that suit, and that's where they came from. But yeah, he didn't have the S in the show, but he did in the comics from the get go. So yeah.
yeah, makes sense because for Bastille, he's supposed to represent the humanity aspects of Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
with everyone else, different aspects. I mean, though it makes you wonder if we would ever get like the cyborg Superman exactly. I mean, may not exactly Hank Henshaw, but I guess unless they would go that route. But
that's where they could have, with the different seasons, they could have introduced that guy. They could have introduced the cyborg Superman. They could have introduced Mongol or talked about Darkseid, but they cut it cut it off. And I mean, I get it. They're in Smallville. Their storyline revolved around that town, but they could have sent him off into space. I mean, the hell, they could have done the whole War World thing with Mongol, chaining him up, put him in an outfit.
yeah, actually, that would actually make a great, interesting season where it would change up, and if the boys would both be superpowered, then they would try to maybe find him or something with John and Nat. Just
Yeah,
that could actually work.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I was hoping that they would do that, but they didn't do that. And when you introduce the characters like Mongol or Darkseid, you have a higher power of ferocity that they'll just rip through people, and that's in my opinion, those make the better stories because it gives Superman a challenge. Like with Brainiac, he has to beat his ass, but also outsmarting. But Mongol, you have to really, really go after him because he's super strong too. They could have introduced a lot of creatures or people or characters, but I mean, you only had 4 seasons.
Yeah, and even before this, they were definitely going for a more somewhat realistic approach with some of the enemies. Like for that character Ellie Austin, she's one of the people that becomes parasites. So they found a way how to give her that absorption ability, but without making her look like a giant purple monster.
Yeah, yeah. They killed Parasite in the comics. Did you know that? In the comics, they killed Parasite.
That I didn't know, but that doesn't surprise me because if there's, since I think I saw on the list, there was like three other people that became parasites. So,
It was Rudy. Was it Rudy Johnson? Was it like Rudy was one, and
yep.
I remember the other two, but I know Rudy was the main one. Um, he, that's who Mike Sullivan dresses up as, my buddy. He's the other cosplayer. Uh, his go-to. But yeah, that one he got killed in the comics, so that made Mike sad.
Damn. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll find a way to bring him back, unless they are settling with new versions of the character.
they'll bring him back. I mean, come on, it's a comic book.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'm not sure how they would handle Darkseid or Mongol. I mean, granted, we did see Gilbert Godfrey, so
Yeah.
that's something. Granted, he is a more human looking new god, so that's not much trouble.
Mhm. The dark side character, they would definitely have to either have dark side invade or him go somewhere. And of course, you have all Apocalypse crew come to town, and uh, you'd have to probably get everybody involved. You'd have to bring in more DC characters, and that probably more money that they have to use to fund the story. And I don't, like I said, I don't know why they stopped at 4 seasons, but they had plenty of storyline they could have kept going. I mean, otherwise, like you said, with James Gunn at the helm, now they're probably saying, well, everything has to be connected. This isn't connected, nothing. So accent where it's at.
I mean, granted, I think with the new Superman movie coming up, I guess they don't want to create so much confusion, which I don't think there should be, because the
Yeah.
two look entirely different on their looks, the costumes, everything. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't have, or did they have? Yeah, they had. This show was going on when they had Henry Cavill playing, right? Or did he stop being Superman and then this show started? I forget. No, because he was this in the Supergirl show. They had him in that one, so that one overlapped.
Yeah, although conveniently, I think when Tyler started being Superman, that was when Henry Cavill's version got killed off in Dawn of Justice.
Oh yeah. Well, they brought him back.
Yeah, but then after that, we never see Superman again until technically it gets between the Snyder Cut and Black Adam, and at that point, they're like, "All right, we can bring Tyler back."
Yeah, which was a total disappointment because I was really jazzed up when I saw Henry walk out on Black Adam. I was like, let's make this happen. This needs to happen. You know, I wanted to see um, Captain Marvel. I call him Captain Marvel. Shazam, Levi, and him go at it. And the reason I say that was because I went to a Comic Con, and I think it was Dragon Con, and Zachary out punch out the Rock, and I was like, and I'm dressed up as the Black Adam. So, I wanted to say something smart ass, and I was like, nah, let me just sit down and shut up and just listen to what he's got to say. But I was looking forward to that battle happening. It never happened. So, and I mean, mind you, there's a cartoon where there was Superman, Captain Marvel, and Black Adam that went at it, and that was a great cartoon. That was one of the main reasons I even made the Black Adam suit, was because of that cartoon. But they never did that live action, so it was a little disappointing. You know, they lead you on with these end credit scenes, and then nothing comes with it. But
Yeah. I mean, I hope in the future there might be something set up with those characters.
I doubt they'll do anything with those guys. I think Henry's done, and The Rock walked away from that part, and he's doing what, Maui for Moana. He's doing the live action, so he's
Yeah.
done.
Well, I mean, not exactly those actors, but at least, we get to see, a live action Superman, Black Adam, and Captain Marvel
If
in some
that
kind of fight.
10 years from now, I'm if that happens, it'll be way in the future. I don't, unless James Gunn pulls something out of his hat. I don't think he's going to do that. It's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't write the checks, and I don't write the scripts either. I just watch it, enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it could fit in the current timeline, since I think right now his whole chapter is gods and monsters, so it
Yeah,
could fit.
yeah. Speaking of cons, Tyler's going to be down in New Orleans in January. I go down there and visit him, talk to him for a little bit. I got something for him. I'm gonna give him a shaving kit. The man needs a shave. Give him this. So every time I see him, because I met him another time at Dragon Con. This was another one. This is a picture I had him sign. He had a scruff. I'm like, come on, man. But but that's just a little jab at what he does. Because of course he was on what, Teen Wolf as the wolf guy, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him sign these two. I picked these up on Amazon. These are the discs. So
Yeah, I saw that they are already releasing the full series.
Yeah, they said that after I already bought those three, so that big pack. But so we look forward to go seeing him down there in New Orleans, and then the girl who plays Lois, I think you pronounce her name Bitsy.
Yeah, Elizabeth Tulloch, but yeah, I think she just goes by with Bitsy.
Bitsy, so itsy bitsy. But we're going to visit her, say hi to her. Of course, with the Creature Commandos being popular again now, Alan Tudyk, he's going to be down there. He plays the voice of Dr. Phosphorus on that show. So we'll run by his booth too and say hi. But my main goal is to holler at these guys, go talk to them, and the whole Smallville crew is going to be there, like Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, Christian Crook, and Elizabeth Durant. They're all going to be down there. So if you're a super fan, go to New Orleans.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have quite a fun time over there.
It's pretty fun down there. It's actually not as crowded at that one as it is at other ones. It's because it's right after the holidays. I don't feel like people are want to spend a lot of money at these cons, so it's not as crowded. Don't get me wrong, there's a crowd, but it's not as crowded because like if you go to Dallas or Dragon Con, crowds are nuts. You know, at New York Comic Con, don't
Oh
even
yeah.
be part of that crowd. I've waited a whole day in line for autographs, and I was like, why did I even do this? So, no, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I attempted to try that when I was there just for Sunday because I thought that maybe it's Sunday, not gonna be so big, but I was wrong.
It's every day is big at New York Comic Con. It's the big international one, basically. You go to that one, there's everybody from all over comes to that one. So it's a big con. Dragon Con's a big con, but it's fan based. The fans run that one, whereas the New York Comic Con corporation or a corporation, I think it's Reed Pop does some stuff, and I don't even know who runs it, but I know it's not the fans.
Yeah. One of my local conventions used to be kind of small in terms of like not quite as big in crowds like Dragon Con in New York, but it's starting to get the way at least as far as within the local because I think it used to be just a very small area of a casino. Now it's like its own wing pretty much.
Well, it's good when they get popular because if they gain more money, they can gain more traction, get bigger stars. But when I talked to some of the promoters here at our little con here at GeekCon, they basically said that there's like a list of actors that you can choose from to come to your show. And if they've already been scheduled for another show, they can't make it to yours. That's the way it was explained to me.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking, well, you ask for them way in advance, but cross them off the list. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was been told by some of the people who run it, just like if you have any ideas, let us know right as soon as possible because we always try, they always try to figure out like how they're gonna set up for next year.
Yeah, they always ask, who do you want? And of course, you ask for these big stars, and none of those ever show up. I think I think 2 years ago, they asked us, you know, the Shreveport crowd, who did you want to come to the GeekCon? And they said Kevin Smith. And everyone's saying he won't show up. He got the whole crew, the whole Clark's crew to show up. So it wasn't just Kevin Smith; it was Jason Mewes and the whole Clark's crew, and the girl from was it Finding Amy or not Chasing Amy or whatever that movie was. They had the whole crew there, so I was impressed. But I don't think they made a lot of money off that because that was only a certain niche that a certain crowd wanted. Like people like me wanted to see Kevin Smith because the first day it was decently uh, crowded, whereas the second day there wasn't hardly anybody there.
Mm.
You pick and you choose.
Yeah, I mean, and you said that was like that was 2 years ago.
I want to say it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to think because He's gained more I say he's gained more popularity with how he's directed, like, a few episodes of The Flash and Supergirl and even creating, like, the He-Man show on Netflix.
Oh, he's been popular for a while, but he's like I said, he's been doing the geek culture for a minute. I mean, we went and saw him. One of the very first Comic Cons we went to was in Chicago. I lived in Illinois. We drove up there to go see him, and he was popular then, you know, because he kind of speaks the geek culture.
Yeah,
And
he does.
he had a he had a like little podcast on his site, and he had like a website. You can go there and talk nerdy stuff to people. But he's been doing this for a minute. Um, and then, like I said, he made the Clerks movie, and they talked about stuff in the movie, and then they made Mallrats, where they brought Stan Lee in. So throughout all of his movies, he's talked about um, the geek culture from the get go. So that's been his bread and butter. And he's funny, and he's got the gift of gab. He can talk all day, so he can just sit there and ramble on. He's entertaining.
Yeah, I hope I get to see him one day at a con or so.
Yeah, yeah. And he's lost hella weight too. But when I first saw him, of course, he was Silent Bob, the big, chunky fella.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that or not. He had a heart attack on stage.
I don't think I saw that actually happening, but I did see posts about, like, him in the hospital and everything, and,
They showed the video. I mean, I wasn't there. No, they showed the video. He had a heart attack on stage, and he's like, I need to change my weight, change my lifestyle. So he got healthy. And when I saw him last 2 Augusts ago, 2 years ago, he was very thin. I was like, wow, he lost a lot of weight. So, it scared him. So get healthy. The gym,
yeah.
youth. I always say that the gym is the fountain of youth. You go to the gym, you'll be around longer.
Yeah, but yeah, it shows it's not as difficult as it is just to try, make a change and lose weight no matter what you're going through, how old you are and such.
Yeah, he was, of course, just eating whatever he wanted, and junk food, junk food, junk food. He said he always had like a Coke with all the sugar in it. And don't get me wrong, I'm from the South. I love Coke, but I understand I understand the evils of the sugar because it will definitely put the pounds on you quick. So yeah.
Agreed. But just curious though, I guess in this fourth season, what were your favorite moments?
My favorite moment, I can pinpoint that one, was the very last episode where they showed the family flying. It showed Clark, Jordan, and John, and the two Steels behind flying. I thought that was so cool. They incorporated Superboy's like Connor's suit and the other red and black suit. Um, I thought that was awesome. And mind you, when they did the Doomsday on here, that was the more comic accurate Doomsday than anybody's portrayed. Because what was it? Was it the dawn of what's it called, the one with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman? Dawn of what?
Dawn of Justice. Yep, that's the one.
I'm getting old. I'm losing my mind. But in Dawn of Justice, that Doomsday, it was basically the Zod that they raised up, and it was he just looked like a mutated Zod to me. It didn't look like a Doomsday. Whereas this one, they took a Bizarro character, which was, obviously it was another super. They built him up, but it looked like the comic book. It looked like what we saw in '92 kill him, and I was like, wow, they did it. They finally got it right.
Yeah, and I like that they utilized the concept. I think it was called the Super Doom storyline, where Superman was infected with the Doomsday virus. So it's I
Yeah,
like they add that storyline, but did it on Doomsday, and I think it makes it more formidable than seeing Doomsday breathing fire.
yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, the opposite. Well, of course, Superman's cold breath and heat vision, and the opposite for that guy because his Bizarro, when he was, I call him Bizarro. He was really Superman on another planet, but they were making him out to be a Bizarro type. He had all the opposite stuff. So I get what they're doing. It's entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool to see, like, Jonathan and Jordan wearing their costumes even just for a second, but I do find it funny that they're both from, I think they're both from Connor Kent's take on the character.
Yeah, yeah, they took that from the comics, and but I enjoyed it. That was that one point. I saw them flying, and I went, "That's cool." And I was kind of, I say, disheartened because you're thinking, "Well, this is it. They're not going to continue with the story. They could have done a whole bunch with it." And they, like I said, that felt rushed because they said, "Oh, well, this is what happened. They grew up. They had family. They grew up." Da, da, da. I was like, well, it felt kind of rushed, but I guess you got to lace up
Yeah.
loose ends. So, but
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind seeing if I think they should have done at least one episode with an epilogue thing, so that way, we get to see what exactly are the kids doing,
yep,
because supposedly Clark, as he gets older, he's going to be pretty much normal at this point. So what? So that means he's going to be he can't be Superman at a certain age. But what about the kids? Do they be heroes still, or just
right.
leading,
But
leading normal lives?
yeah, with this show, they never showed him go off to the 30th century to be with the Legion. They never showed him doing like a Kingdom Come thing, but of course that's apparently different universes. So uh,
Well, I
they had,
mean, you could say. I'm sorry. I mean, you could say that for at the very end with that last shot, it's kind of Kingdom Come esque since they mentioned that Superman was starting to get a little bit of gray hair.
yeah, that's about it. he didn't, he didn't fight off the younger ones.
Yeah, and plus, I think even for this season, the suit was became more like a
Parker,
bl- yeah, darker, a little blue purplish color.
yeah, they definitely changed that up. I think I liked I think it was the third season suit better because the cape went this way, not in here. It went in through the collar, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Yeah, I think I like the texture for the last season suits more, but yeah, I think the cape did look better in the third season.
Hmm. I like the third season, and then yeah, because it went in this way. It kind of resembled the way Christopher Reeve cape looked. Whereas in the first season, it wrapped and went down here. So it's just nitpicking stuff the way I am.
Yeah. No, I mean, heck, with your years of cosplay as a character, then yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely know how it works.
you got to figure out what works and what looks decent. I'm not a fan of the collar on the new suit, but I like the new suit. But I'm not a fan of the collar. To me, it's like, why do you need a collar? Is your neck cold? What do you need a collar for? Uh, Anytime they take that cape and insert it here, because I don't know, I'm old school. I like it going in. And if you've ever done the cosplay, the cape goes in and around your shoulder, up underneath your armpit, so it stays in place. Otherwise, I've seen people tied in the bow. It's like, what are you, 5? Yeah. Do it
Then
right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But
Just
still, oh, sorry.
I said, just little things that I've noticed. You watch these costumes evolve, and like, why did you do that? You kind of ask yourself, why did they do this? Why did they do that? But they wanted to look different. It's like Batman even had a collar in the Patterson movie. So I was like, what are you? Is your neck cold? You're gonna get some rain.
Yeah, it's just weird how for those two characters, they're just doing a little mix and matchups of different eras of costumes or different versions altogether.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact that they took from the comics and applied it to the characters on the show. I did appreciate that. That was something I liked. And another thing I liked about this show, they let Tyler wear the Fleischer suit, where he says, "My mom made my suit." I went, "That's awesome," and I wanted them to keep him in that one suit for a couple episodes, not just a shot. here and there. But when they had him in the Fleischer suit from the old cartoon, I was like, yeah, I like that. I actually have that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. Right down to like recreating the shot from the Action Comics issue, and I'm glad they incorporate that with that one episode where you got to see like how Clark starts up being Superman. Yep, the exact yeah, they got it right down to the car and everything.
Yeah, about a new car, so for everything that I put out.
Nice. But yeah, I'm glad at least we got to see Superman the Flasher suit for that one almost full episode where it was like seeing how Clark and Lois meet, working together.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to like go throughout the half the season with it on, but you get what you can get.
Yeah. Oh well.
And like
But
all the suits that they have throughout the years, there's so many different variations they could have chosen. And this one looks good on Tyler, the one in the third season. Like I said, the first where it wrapped here, uh, I don't know. That one kind of, I don't know. It just wasn't. I wasn't a fan of that one, but
yeah, in the first two seasons, the padding just felt too much to me. I know it looked too unrealistic to me.
and he's a fit fella. Tyler is, but he's not big. They got his shoulders looking, ginormous. I mean, don't get me wrong. You want your Superman to have big delts, but come on, man. let's be realistic here.
Yeah, I'm glad for the last two seasons they adjusted that.
Yeah, they toned it down a little bit. Yeah.
Though I think my favorite moment has to be the fight between Clark and Lex when he wearing a costume at all, like calling, like just seeing Clark calling Luthor out is like damn,
Yeah.
that's just intimidating.
Yeah. Or did he have that? I'm looking. I'm actually looking at the show right now. I'm looking at it. Was that take just from the Supergirl show? Because I'm hold on. I'm actually going back to see if I was wrong. I think his cape was different in the first season. When I say different, it was right. It was yeah. But in the Supergirl show is where he had this one. Okay.
Yeah, because in Supergirl, like it was not even tucked in. It was like some kind of like a thing, like some kind of clip-on thing or something, like on top.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's what I remember. Yeah, and then I'm looking at the show now, and I'm actually rewinding it back to the first episode, the pilot. I'm like, yeah, there he is. So it
Yeah.
was the Supergirl show where he had it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we first got to see the images of him in Supergirl, I think a lot of people were not happy about with the looks and everything.
Yeah, this one here, his cape is right. Right.
For the Fleischer one, right?
Well, that one in his regular suit. Like here's the Fleischer. He's the little boy's coming at him. And then I'm just rewinding. No, it was correct in the first season of this too. So I was thinking about the Supergirl costume, the Supergirl story where he had it down here. But in this one it was different. They changed it. So yeah.
Yeah, I never liked that suit on Supergirl. I mean, I get why because they didn't want to make it too similar to Henry Cavill, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they never showed Supergirl on this show. I thought they were gonna introduce her somewhere along the line, but they did. They bring the Arrowverse in my opinion, in here at all. But
No, sadly. I mean, I think if the show could have gone further, I mean, I would have liked if they brought in Batman at least, like maybe not necessarily in costume, so to speak, at least maybe Bruce Wayne to come visit Smallville.
I could show up. I mean, hell, even bring Damien in because
Oh
Damien
yeah,
and the boys could talk, and I don't know because I like Damien as a character as a Robin. He's ruthless. take up with nothing or put up with nothing.
Yeah, especially after watching that Battle of the Super Sons movie, I felt like I would love to see that in Superman Lois with Damien as a teenager, seeing who he gets along with more, Jonathan or Jordan. I want to say probably Jonathan.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, here he is. He's wearing the Fleischer suit. They got him padded up. He's padded. But yeah,
Yeah,
with George Reeves, they did that to him. They padded his costume.
yeah, but for the Fleischer, the padding looks better adjusted. Like, it's I would say a lot of it is like fully padded. Whereas I think in the first two seasons with his main suit, it was all just like the chest and shoulders. It looks like so big.
Yeah, they wanted to accentuate that apparently. Yeah, because Tyler's a fit fella. He's not a big fella. But he's, don't get me wrong, he looks good. I'm not doubting him by no means, but when they put that padding in there, it's to accentuate the the spandex too. Because if you put spandex on, it pushes everything down. Because you can be shredded, and the spandex holds some of your cuts. So I mean, I find that on me a lot. So like I'll look in the mirror when I don't have my suit on. I was like, oh, I look decent, and then I put the suit on. I was like, oh, it's covered up my cut. What do you
Yeah,
do?
you need to find like a certain type of fabrics or a certain like or have it sewn together, I guess, differently, so that way it doesn't really hide the cuts, right?
But that's what the pads for. I mean, they did it for Henry Cavill too because they had that thick fabric on him, so they put those silver padding in him. So when he moved, the fabric shined a little bit more to get and to accentuate the deltoid or the pec or something like that. It just they did it for a reason. So I mean, it's what they what you want to make your hero look powerful. You don't want him to look flat by no means. So it,
Yeah, just it seemed like for a Cavill, like they didn't like add too much of it where it looks so bulky. Because I mean, like when you look at like, because I dare say for with Hecklin, they gave him like sort of like the same kind of padding they did for Zachary Levi in the first Shazam movie.
oh, that was too much. Yeah, Zachary was too much.
I was like, why they couldn't give him like the same kind of like costume treatment they did for Cavill?
They padded him up thick, and it kind of gets me. I mean, we know that they're putting them in a costume with pads, but when their neck is skinny, it's you're like you can't do nothing about that unless you put a collar on it or a cowl like Batman does. You can't hide,
Yeah,
and they'll come out with these big body and a skinny neck. I'm like, well,
yeah.
what do you do? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why a collar is just a good way to go for when it comes to the costumes nowadays, unless depending on the actor. Because I mean, I'm not sure about for the new guy. Like, I mean, he definitely got pretty big, but I don't know if like,
I mean, Tyler doesn't have a skinny neck by no means. But like I said, when Zachary Levi put that Shazam, he it wasn't big no by no means. I mean, you want your super people to look fit and muscular, but you don't want them to look, like a monster. You know, look
yeah,
fit. So. That's the whole aesthetic of it.
yeah, just a good balance. Yeah, just good balance and everything. And
Mhm.
but yeah, it would have been nice just to see like with Batman, Bruce Wayne, like maybe even they do like something like a let's say if Batman's like retiring or something, or like if they do like a double date with Batman and Catwoman or something.
Yeah, that'd be
Because I feel like just for an episode, that would be a hilarious storyline just to see that version of Clark and Lois dating Bruce and Selena, or dating with Bruce and Selena.
yeah. Yeah, I see. I would anything they could have brought. They had every opportunity to bring these characters in, but I just believe they wanted to be centered around that Smallville family. Which,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, but still, and it's definitely the end for DC on the CW, which technically, if you go by through with Smallville, that's 24 years.
years, yeah, half a century almost. Yeah, they're done. So now James Gunn will probably bring in some stuff. I don't know if they'll even do any more Superman films or other than what they're doing now, Superman films or TV shows than what they're doing currently. What's the guy? New guy's name? David something.
David Cornsmith, yeah, that's the new guy.
Well, they'll probably do his little film. I say little. They'll do his film. Little. See how it plays out, and then they'll go from there. Uh, and like I said, they keep changing actors because they want Superman to stay young, which is fair. You don't always want to see your hero grow old and die, but in this case they did. They had him grow old and die, so it added more drama to it.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about because in the original storyline with the death of Superman, like he never had like his heart taken out or anything. Like he was just like impaled or something.
Now the final blow, basically in the comic they beat the shit out of each other, and they did a blow to each other, one final blow, and they fell down. But they beat each other for like a whole comic book, like a whole series of shots. But no, he didn't rip his heart out, because when they said, "Oh, he ripped his heart out," I'm like, "Well, that's a different take. I didn't expect that to be introduced." So, yeah, that was new. But no, they didn't do that in the comic. He did not have his heart ripped out by no means. They just beat the shit out of each other. And he's Doomsday was dead, and Clark was dead. Matter of fact, Taylor, little cosplayer we met up in New York, he did the death of Superman, and he even had the little marks on his face. He did it really well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Did
think
it,
he was like the first cosplayer I got to there at the convention.
yeah, he did a really good job. When he showed up with his costume all ripped up, I was like, "That's impressive," because I'm scared to rip mine up. But he did it. But he did a really good job. I was impressed. But he obviously took the source material from the comic, and you could see where like Doomsday's um, thorny hands hit him. So props to Taylor. He did a really good job.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I guess I kind of like the idea that with the whole heart thing and transplant through Sam Lane,
Mhm.
it it makes sense because I feel like it's a better idea for him to come back to life than just, oh, his vitals just slow to a crawl and just, had to basically be in hibernation through Kryptonian tech just so he can come back to life. Because by that standpoint, that means Superman can't really die unless you do take out his heart or something.
That's one way to think about it. He's basically immortal. And he's in the comics. He ages very slowly, and he's because there's even a comic where he's I think 1,000 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a long white beard, and it's one of those comics where it's Elseworlds, but he hangs out for a minute. Superman don't die. So, but in this one, they gave him a vulnerability by giving General Lane's heart. So he's an older man, an older human man, and it sort of converged his Kryptonian cells into the heart, but not enough. So
Yeah.
it gave them an out, because obviously that's what this show took a lot of liberties, the things that we didn't expect they're going to do. I mean, they gave Lois cancer, for Pete's sakes. I did not see that coming. They did that. They ripped out his heart. They did so much that you're like, I did not see that coming, which is cool because you've seen he's been on TV, since the 30s or 40s and stuff like that. And then George Reeves was been around. You had Christopher Reeve, all these different iterations of Superman. You kind of see the same thing over and over and over. Which I mean, I don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. I love the whole Superman lore. But when this show came out, they introduced new stuff and it didn't do anything wrong. It just felt like, damn, he's going through something, and cancer is not something to play with. And when they introduced that, I was like, holy shit, they gave Lois cancer. So you kind of tugged on your heartstrings because I know people who passed of cancer and have cancer, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, cancer sucks,
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because when
And
I first saw through that season, I always think it made me think of that animated movie. I think Superman Doomsday, where I think before he fought Doomsday, he was trying to figure out how to cure cancer, but there was no one personally he knew that was sick, but he just wanted to try to figure something out.
yeah,
And Luthor found a way to cure, like, I think something, but he wanted to make it a lifetime
yeah.
a
I think
lifetime program or something.
was that the All Star Superman movie, the cartoon.
No, it was an older one. It was just called Superman Doomsday. It had
Doomsday one. Yes, yes, yeah. I remember that one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's one I think with Adam Baldwin as voicing
yeah. Hmm.
voicing Superman. They had James Marsters voicing Lex.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I think that, which is ironic since I think during Smallville he was still like a Brainiac.
Mm. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But
But
yeah, they took liberties with this show that they didn't do before. Once again, they brought the twins in. No one saw that coming. And of course, the actor, I think was it Jordan that they switch actors. Mid
no, it
season.
was Jonathan. Yeah.
The blonde head. I say blonde headed. He's lighter haired than the other one. They changed actors, um, which they kind of did a decent job on casting because the other guy they picked resembled the other kid. Um, I don't know the exact story on what happened there. I think that I don't know. I don't know. I think someone didn't show up for work or something one day, and they're like, "We'll get somebody else." I don't know. I'm only hearsay.
Yeah, I couldn't find much details as far as for why that they had to do that, but
Which show's got to go on. You got you got to do. But like I said, this they stayed in Smallville. He left Metropolis, and then they came to live in his mom's old home, and it revolved around Smallville. Well, I always loved the Smallville stories. I don't know what it is. It's just I always liked it. That's why I guess I like the TV show Smallville. It's just more down to home. It's not so hustle and bustle of the big city. It's not Superman picking up cars and flying around the city, throwing them into the ocean or whatever. But it's small.
yeah, I agree. I agree because I think it just really makes Superman stand out as a character because there's already enough superheroes living in some kind of city,
Hmm.
especially for Marvel since it's all in mostly New York.
York. It's us. It all revolves around New York, unless you're Gambit, New Orleans or something. But and even then,
But still, it's a nice full circle of how, like, for us, the fans, we saw Superman's origins in Smallville. So for him now to be a father, it makes sense for him to be going back home to Smallville just to try to raise a family and everything. Try to teach them, try to be more present as a father, teach them how to control their powers. Although I think Jonathan just getting powers out of almost nowhere, just like, I mean, I imagine it might be some traumatic levels of stress, but a bit
yeah,
rushed.
I wasn't a big fan of the when they had the one. Was it Jonathan that had the fits? Was it Jonathan?
No, it was Jordan first that got the powers, then Jonathan.
Yeah, Jordan. He had all the fits. He was. I was like, what is going on with this kid? So I didn't really understand what was going on there. Of course, finally he got his powers, and for some reason his fits went away. I was like, well, I guess. I don't know how. It sort of just was off for me. And then the other kid finally got his powers, and I was like, well, this is cool. I like the fact that the Wonder Twins, as they call themselves,
Hint, hint.
they had powers, so that was cool. And I guess they were trying to incorporate the fact that the one boy could empathize with people who had panic attacks and things to that effect. So,
Yeah, because I was saying because we're Jordan, yeah, he has some like anxiety issues and such. So that having someone like that having powers, that is not a good recipe.
Jordan, yeah, he, and then they gave him the curly fries at the restaurant. That was funny. I was like,
Yeah, I forgot. Like, wow, it's just like That's one thing that was pretty cool to see is that Superman just decided to fully just reveal himself to the world and such. I was like, I had a feeling that was going to happen from season one, just because of the whole Talro thing, and they're like, people wanted questions, how they're going to be able to answer that without saying that, yeah, because the guy is Superman's brother.
Right, right. But like I said, overall, it was a good show. I hate that they ended it at 4. They could have done a little more, in my opinion. The last episode was very sweet. It tugged on your heartstrings. I won't lie. Uh,
Yeah, it did.
you know, you if you don't have a soul, you didn't cry or get misty eyed. I got a little misty eyed. I didn't cry, but I got a little misty eyed. Anytime they show a funeral, I get misty eyed. So, but and then of course, like I said, once again, they showed him getting older, showing the family growing, and they showed him have grandkids, and I was like, I like this. I can kind of, you know, I say feel like he feels. Mind you, I can't fly or run around the world at faster speed and bullet, but he's a dad, and I'm a dad, and he has grandkids, and I have grandkids, and you see he's trying to do the best with his family, and he's still trying to maintain his goodness and not take over. Not that he wants to take over, but he's being Superman. He's being the Superman we know and love, and still has a family.
Yeah,
So I like that.
yeah, I did too. Yeah, because it's
Even
it's
though
just not.
they introduced John in the comics, I like the fact that he was a dad in the comics. I was like, this is cool because a lot of people who read the Superman comics are older now. You know, we grew up with this guy. You know, and then it showed him raising a child. But then what I didn't like was they aged him up so fast. They aged up John, like they took him family to send him off, and he came back as a teenager. Uh,
Yeah, it was just weird seeing him now looking taller than Damien. I was like, what's going on here?
I didn't like that move. That to me, that was a bad move. They could have slowly progressed him, you know, with the story, but they didn't. So, but
Yeah, it's just the writers, they always try to do something in terms like, like, should we get rid of Clark and just like, let the kid take over? But they're like, nah, let's just find a way to bring him back. All right, fine.
uh, Clark will be around for a minute. He's been in our life. I mean, since was it 38?
Yeah, 1938. Yeah, so he's been around for 86 years.
So my dad used to collect Superman comics, and then, like I said, I didn't really know this. I think I told you this before. I didn't even know this till people told me, "Yeah, your dad was a big Superman fan." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "He had a stack of comics." I'm like, "Where are those at?" and his ex wife told me I threw them away. I was like, "Why you're an ex?" I'm just teasing, but but
Yeah,
but yeah. So he's literally been in our family since day one. Like my dad would only when we go to the store to buy anything, you didn't ask for nothing at a store, and I asked, "Can I have a Superman comic?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can have that." Okay, so yeah, because my dad passed when I was 10, so I really didn't get to know him that well. I have to hear stories from other people. How was he? What did he was he like? And so he's a World War II vet and a cop when he came home. So you know he was the true Superman in my opinion. You know, he stuck up for the truth, justice, and American way. And I could see it in his personality as I got older. I was like, oh, I guess we do have some of the same traits as the Kryptonian. So yeah,
yeah, it's Trace had definitely followed through with you.
yeah, I try. I try. Yeah,
I mean, you got that as I think as your nickname when you were enlisted, right?
yeah. I was. Well, that was my buddy Wesley Rudisill gave me that because I applied for to be the Superman of Metropolis, and they thought it was funny, so they just started calling me Superman. It stuck. And then when we went to Germany, I was wearing a Superman jersey, not this one, but another one. And we were at Brook Mulebach. It was a wine festival, and there was a car parked wrong. And I was like, I'll move it. and I picked up the back end and moved it, and they're like, "You are Superman," and it stuck. But it was a little car. It was called a Bon Jovi or something like that. It's really called Bon Jovi. But yeah, man, it stuck. And then over the years, I mean, like I said, I've been a fan of Superman since I can remember. We decided to get a decent costume because throughout the years, I would like take a T-shirt and put an S on it, put a cheesy cape on, and I was like, I want a nice costume. So I got a nice costume, and it just took off from there. And then now, what do I have? Like 19
Yeah, I
different
want to say I think like at least 19, 18 different versions of the character.
versions. I got another one coming. I'm gonna do the Krypton Man from the 1989 series, where it was basically the Eradicator took over Clark, and he's wearing the red and yellow. So I'll be wearing that to New Orleans in January. I gotta keep this down because that's holidays are here, and I like to eat. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah. I appreciate the man in the cape. He's always. I mean, look around.
Oh yeah, lots of Superman memorabilia here.
Uh, you tour my house, but it's messy right now. We're getting ready to have the festivities for Christmas, so everything's laying around. But yeah, man. And when Alex Ross came out with his version of Superman, um, these guys right here, uh, I was like, that looks like me. So, and a lot of people told, mind you, I have a beard and I don't have my hair painted, but you can't tell. But would tell me, you resemble Alex Ross's Superman. I was like, thank you. And then I finally got to meet Alex Ross, and he was like, "You're the best Kingdom Come Superman I've ever seen." I was like, "Thank you." He just, "Can I have a picture? Can I have a picture?" So yeah, we had a nice talk there. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean you still do you still do a good job with your cosplays.
thanks, man. I don't know how many more years I got in me because I'm 53. Hopefully, I can keep doing it, but I'm 53 now, so we'll see. I don't want to be the old guy, but I am getting older. But what I am doing is I have a grandson, and I slowly get him to do the cosplays with me. So we'll see. Hell, I have a buddy. Uh, his name, he's a deacon, and he still dresses up as Superman. And I want to say he is in his 70s. So I
Wow.
told him, if you can do it, I can do it. He's like, don't ever stop wearing the cape. I was like, "Oh." And he's got a big old white beard and everything. He still puts it on. He'll show up to our Comic Con, and I was like, God bless you.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe if it's something you still like to do, then keep doing it,
yeah. Long as I don't get too out of shape.
Nah, with your work with how much you work out, yeah, that's I don't think that's not gonna happen.
I hope, yeah, man. We'll
But
still have to
yeah.
see.
By the way, what do you think of seeing Crypto, just for a couple of minutes at the finale?
My dog was out there making a fit. I like the fact that they brought Crypto. I did not like the fact that they made him. What kind of dog is that? Like
Uh,
it,
a lab, I guess, a yellow lab.
lab. What is that dog called? Anyway, it wasn't a white lab because I like to see the white lab. That's just me. It was English setter. It was an English setter. I think they had. It was an English setter.
I wasn't quite sure. I'm not too expert on the different types of
I
dogs.
showed him, and I'm like, I guess. I do like the fact when they introduce crypto in any sense of the fact. I like crypto. I'm a big fan of that character. Hell, I even like the cartoon. Shit, I got a little statue of crypto. There's some guy in I think it's Peru. He made it for me, or made it for everybody, but I bought it from him from the animated show. I like crypto. I get a kick out of the super dog.
Yeah, I love the fact that they brought him in for those last 2 minutes. It made me think of Batman Beyond when when Bruce got Ace as an older person.
Yeah, well, Ace is actually was around way before that show. They just reintroduced him in
Yeah.
because I liked Ace also. Um, he's a good judge of character.
Yep.
Good
Yeah.
character. And I
But
in the Superman or Super Crypto the Super Dog movie, they had Ace and Crypto, but Ace was he wasn't I want to say not a Doberman. I don't but he was a smaller dog than Crypto. If I'm not mistaken. It's been a minute. But I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was funny. It's Kevin Hart and The Rock were playing off each other. I enjoyed that.
yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah. Yeah, I must say Ace was definitely a little bit smaller, not maybe not quite maybe not full like a full hound, so to speak. I'm not sure what type of dog that they were
I think
making him to be.
Ace was a boxer in that one, and then Crypto was a lab in that cartoon. And of course, you had the turtle, the pig, and like whatever that character was, a chipmunk or something. Oh, it was not a chipmunk, a hamster, guinea pig,
Yeah, yeah, right. I think that was a guinea pig.
guinea. Yeah, of course, she was getting worked on like a guinea pig. So that was.
Mhm. Yep. That was a fun movie, and can't wait to see how Crypto's gonna be for the new Superman movie.
I hope they don't make it cheesy. I mean, I like the fact that they're introducing Crypto. Matter of fact, if you read Hush, the comic, when he showed up, I giggled because he was part of a Hush, and he came out, growling at the folks, and I was like, I like this story. The Hush storyline's one of my favorites. My favorite story is Kingdom Come, but that's one of my better ones. The Hush. I read that one. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, Hush was a good one, and we'll see about for the movie because supposedly we're gonna be seeing a lot of callbacks to the Silver Age of comics. So
I hope so. They even show Superman before they showed Creature Commandos. They showed him breaking the chains and stuff in his Silver Age outfit. So hopefully James Gunn does him justice. I'm sure he will because he does a good job. He did a great job on Guardians. I love Guardians. That's a great show. Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think he'll do a good job. We'll just have to wait and see. Don't get me wrong. No matter what they do, I'm going to go watch it. So
yeah, yeah, because I say especially with after seeing the latest episode, there's definitely some great world building happening here for James Gunn's DC.
yeah. Um, like I said, I hate the fact that they got rid of Cavill. I liked Henry. I mean, I really did. Yeah, he was, in my opinion, the epitome of a true fan who got his dream to play Superman. And he was fit, like really fit. He looked the part. Um, I just liked Henry. Chris was my favorite, Christopher Reeves, but Chris Reeve was, but Henry owned it. And then of course when he had Brandon Routh, he had a good humanity to him. I loved him. Dean Cain, when he was Superman, he had the swagger that we all wanted, and of course Terry Hatcher was gorgeous as Lois Lane. I mean, just the throughout the years, everybody seems to have done it justice. I don't think they've ever had any show that is shit on the character. They've they've done it right. You watch it; that'll be different here and there, but they pay tribute to the character and they honor his tribute, his legacy. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. We'll watch. We'll see, and then we'll do another podcast about it. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I agree because like from what I could see, there's never really any bad Superman take. I mean, I feel like Zack Snyder went with a different direction that not everyone really liked or fully understood, but I think if Cavill got the chance in another way, I think it would have really made a better impression. I mean, heck, when we did our DC December last year, he was voted at number 2 for best live action actor.
Who was one? Christopher Reeve.
No, Cavill.
Oh, Cavill was number one.
No, Cavill's number 2. Reeve was still number 1.
Reeve was number. That's what I'm saying. Reeve was number one. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reeve is always going to be number one. Come on.
Yeah, nothing can stop that. Yeah, I think for when we did our list, I think it was Reeve, then to Cavill, Welling, Hecklin, Routh, and then George Reeves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I like Dean Cain a little better than some of those, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, I honestly, with going back to Smallville, Tom Welling, I just wish he'd have put the costume on sooner. But what do you do?
Yeah, yeah. Because honestly, I feel like with even with this latest show, I feel like this could have been something with Welling, Rosenbaum, and the rest if they wanted to come back in some way. Just that way we can see Welling back as Superman or so. But he's not a fan of wearing the costume still, apparently.
Right. Yeah, those two, Welling and Rosenbaum, they are hilarious in person. Like I said, we saw a panel with those guys talking, and Rosenbaum is a trip. He's just hilarious. I mean, you see why they got him to play the Flash too.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Quick on his feet. He's sharp. He's funny. And Tom was playing the straight man, and they were just back and forth, and he was funny. So, and I didn't realize that Tom was 6'4". I thought he was shorter than that. So when I stood next to him, I'm 6'1". I'm like, why am I looking up at this guy?
Yeah, I know. Like I think it's just about as tall as Christopher Reeve was.
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Um, I I want to say Tom's a little thicker. Don't get me wrong. Chris put on some mass when he was training with David Prowse, and they were bulking him up because when he first started, he was a string bean, and he'd even tell you that. And they bulked him up and put like 30 pounds of muscle on him. But now Tom's really thick. Like he looks good. But Henry, of course, is muscular. He's in the gym all the time. And then the new guy, David, they showed him training and getting swole for the part, and which I appreciate. When you go see a superhero movie, you want to see muscle and thickness and muscularity and athleticism. You don't want to see some dude with a dad bod. You know,
Yeah. I just hope if the trailer does come out this month, or perhaps maybe we get some announcement tomorrow about it, we get a better idea of what he's going to look, how he's going to act and everything. So
yeah, I think it'll be good. Uh, they look like they have part of the Justice League there because they have Mister Terrific. I think Hot Girl is there. If
yep.
either.
Yep, Hawk Girl and one of the Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner.
Oh, that's right. Who's playing Guy again? Is it
Nathan Yep, Nathan Fillion.
That'll be interesting because Guy's a smart ass, and that'll be fun to watch. I see. I'm already looking forward to it just because of the character choices. Uh,
Yeah, and I think also they're bringing in Metamorpho as well.
Metamorpho. That's another one. Who's playing that one though?
I forgot his name, but he has played like some strange character, other strange characters in DC, like another show. That I think he was like, I think he played like Victor Zaz in Gotham.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll probably just CG the hell out of him though, because it's Metamorpho.
Yeah, though granted, he's normally bald, so like they can just put like the makeup on him. Although that might be a bit tricky since he has like 4 different colors for
Yeah,
his look.
Metamorpho does this thing. He'll make elements do certain things, and he's kind of like Plastic Man in a sense, but he does it with elements. So he'll make different shapes and things that. But yeah, they'll have to have use CG with him. So
Yeah, and we'll see what happens after with David Cornside because I think for 2026 we're gonna get the Supergirl movie.
yeah, that looks good. The little girl from the House of Dragons show. She's gonna be Supergirl.
Yep.
I wish Scarlett Johansson would be Supergirl. That'd be nice.
Although at this point, she'd be Superwoman at.
I know, or she could be Power Girl. In my opinion, oh, I'd love to see that. That's my favorite female.
What?
Power Girl's my favorite female hero. Like my wife cosplayed her. Perfect.
Nice, yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, James Gunn's open to doing Elseworld stories. Just probably just, I guess, just probably one-off stories or so. Nothing too big, because I mean, he's still the Robert Pattinson's Batman is still going to be a separate thing.
Yeah, yeah. And from what I understand, I mean, I the whole Penguin show that they had, which was Chef's Kiss. Uh, from what I understand, the Penguin will be like the big bad guy in the new Batman show, and I don't know how they're going to interact those two worlds with Superman. I don't know what they're doing there because, like you said, it's supposed to be all on the same.
Well, well, for I think for Elseworld stories, that's going to be very like contained.
Yeah, is that supposed to be an Elseworld story? The Patterson Batman?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah. I think they were trying to maybe see having it be more connected, but I think they're just going to keep it separate because I think James Gunn has something different in mind for Batman.
Yeah, but that show, the Penguin show, holy crap! I mean, I don't go on a whole another hour, but I was impressed. I thought because I just got finished watching Agatha show, and I was kind of like, what are they gonna do with the Penguin? Is it gonna be half-assed? And 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, this show is good. And then the girl who played the
Oh yeah, Sophia.
Falcone, yeah, man, what's her name? Christy something, but anyway,
Melody, I think.
no, no, it starts with a T. But you can look that up. But she owned that role. I mean, you felt the drama, and the makeup on him was astounding for Colin Farrell. He had the accent down, and you thought, the first couple episodes, oh, well, we're going to sympathize with this character. He's going to be, an anti-hero. No, by the end of it, no, he's bad.
Yeah, no, like they're not trying to do anything like that. Not like with other villain
No,
centered stories. No, and I'm glad for that because yeah,
they,
Penguin may have issues, but
they truly showed why Penguin was an opponent of Batman, like a serious villain in his rogues gallery, because he's an evil bastard. I mean, it's like you killed your brothers, you killed your buddy, you put your mom up in a hospice bed just so you can have her. Then you made your girlfriend dress up like your mama and dress her. What the hell is going through his head? So we could do a whole nother hour on that one.
yeah. But I checked the name. Yeah, for Sophia, yeah, it was Kristen Milioti.
Is it Milioti? Okay, Milioti. Yeah, she's on point. She did a good job. I thought or the T. But she did great, great work, and she's cute too. When they showed her, dancing with the little gas mask on, I was like, oh, she's villainous too. But you
Yep.
it beat her ass in Arkham and drug her down and made her feel like shit, and I was like, yeah, she's getting her revenge. So I enjoyed the Penguin show. That was good. They did a really, really good job on that one.
Yeah, I think they're going to do a great setup for the sequel, especially if Selena is going to be helping her out.
Yeah, yeah. So she said that they were sisters. I was like, which implies that her dad either got with Selena's mom or raped her mom. I don't know how that worked out.
Well, given how Falcone treats his women, I would say more the latter.
And then, of course, he was the real hangman because he would hang these ladies and her mom, Sophia's mom. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's just like once after the episode, it's like, oh my god, I just realized that what they were doing because like it was a good tie-in to the first movie, And I want to say for the second one, the villains might be more focused. I think they're going to bring in either Mr. Freeze or the Court of Owls.
I think the Court of Owls is what I've heard. But
Yeah, I mean probably both, but who knows? I mean, I say the Court of Owls would probably be a good would be a good choice if it's all about uncovering like the corruption of Gotham and everything.
yeah. But going back to this show, the Superman Lois show, they did a good job of making it darker than Smallville, but not so dark as you're going into a Gotham-esque type of show. I mean, it wasn't, like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably right there at a 5 or a 6, whereas Batman's 10, you know.
Yeah, it's like they found a good balance, I think, between like how Zack Snyder would have done it and the classic, like how Richard Donner would have done it.
Yeah, a good balance of what they did. The special effects were okay, or great, or good for that matter. When they introduced the new characters, they made them look comic accurate, and I appreciate it when they do that. When they go to the source material and bring it in, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know where they filmed this show. I want to say probably in Canada,
Yeah, I want to say I think it's definitely Vancouver for some.
but they make it look like Kansas because I don't know if you've been to Kansas, but Kansas is flat. And
Yeah, nope. The closest I ever gone to was probably Illinois for the Superman Festival.
no, Kansas is way different. It's flat. So I remember I went to Kansas and I was like, oh, now I know why Clark left. Hey, I know. No, but I like Kansas, but it was just when I was there wasn't really much for me to do. So, there's a lot of farmland, a lot of farmland. Hence the Clark Kent thing. He's a farmer.
Yeah,
But the show, they did a really good job uh, with the special effects. They did a really good job with the storyline. They introduced new uh, characteristics to the characters. They just they gave it more um, than normal. It's a good show, and I appreciate what they did. So, like I said, when I go see Tyler in New Orleans, I'll tell him, we appreciate everything he's done for us in this show and bringing out the character's true self as Superman. Yeah, we like that.
yeah. Same him and Bitsy. I don't know why I said Betsy.
Bitsy. Yeah, she'll be there. I'm gonna try to get a photo op of both of them. So I've seen a photo op for just him. So usually when you get there, they'll say, "Oh, by the way, here's another photo op if you want to do that." So if there's one with both of them, I'll just pay for that one and go picture
Yeah,
those.
that'd be nice. But yeah, I'm glad they both got to play these characters for more or less a decade or so on or off, not straight through, but at least, well, more Tyler for almost a decade. Because I want to say since 2015, 16, somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's when he was on the Supergirl show. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The little boys, the kids were at the Dallas Comic Con. They were nice guys. I didn't take any pictures of them only because I was in a rush. I kind of regret it now because that was the kid that the first.
Jonathan.
There you go. I always get their names mixed up. There was the first Jonathan, and I didn't get their pictures or nothing, but I did speak with them. They're very nice guys, very cordial, gentlemanly. I'll say it like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, the whole cast that I've come across, they seem to be nice. So I like it when you go to these cons. I mean, who doesn't like it when they're nice? I've been to some cons before where the actor you're talking to is just not in a good mood. It's like he doesn't want to be there. I'm like, why are you here, bro? If you don't want to be here, So
Yeah, I know. It's just
guys
like
are genuinely happy to be there and talk with the fans. So they realize that as a as a whole, the fans basically make their careers. So and they
mhm.
I can appreciate them. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a good portion, I guess, of the Arrowverse actors. Yeah, they do care about the fans and their work.
Amazing. Um, uh, get their names straight here. The guy who played Firestorm is it Steve Amell or what's his name?
Oh, Robbie Amell, the first Firestorm guy, right?
Him, if I'm not mistaken. He came down to visit with the DC Cosplays East um, cosplay group, and he took pictures with us. Like he came down there and hung out with us. And is Steve Amell? That's the Arrow guy, right?
Yeah, Stephen Amell was Arrow.
He had a Comic Con. It was all his. It's called Heroes and Villains, and it kind of did the different towns. Hell, they even put me in their commercial. I thought that was funny. But they would come to different towns up north and have these Comic Cons, and they were super fan oriented, and it was a great con. I don't even think they do that one anymore. Those two, but those guys were on point, man. I appreciated them, so it was cool.
Yeah, Heroes and Villains Fan Fest. That was a good one for a while.
Hmm. And because I lived up in New Jersey for 2 years, and we went to that twice, I think, when I was up there. So, and we even made the track in the snow. And when I say people like big deal with snow, it was like a blizzard, and people still came out. And they canceled the first day, but they kind of made it up to the fans on the second day. You know, they came out, took pictures, and they were very generous. It was just really cool what they did for the fans. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, no, it was a it was a good convention, and hopefully you get your chance to see like the rest of the cast for Superman Lois, at least with the
Mhm.
Kent boys.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they're going to come to New Orleans, but that would be cool if they showed up too. I'd like to see Steel, the guy that played Steel. I'd like to see him. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, he'd
uh,
be cool to see. Same with their Lana.
yeah, yeah. Um, that'd be cool to see her. But you know, these people, these actors, they'll pick where they want to go, what cons they go to, and they choose accordingly whatever's going to bring them the most money. You know, so it is.
Yeah. Either way, I say that's our time for today. Want to thank you for being a guest here, Mike, and thank to all you viewers that stayed on for the show. And keep in mind that for my DC summer run is still going on till Christmas Eve. So keep an eye out to see what's the results on the best suits for right now.
Y'all stay super and Merry Christmas.